Let me tell you how I improved the villager chase mechanics in Mr. Sleepy Man this week. And hopefully it doesn't make your brain melt. The chase mechanics in Mr. Sleepy Man were already working pretty great, but they needed some improvements. Mainly with how you escape from being chased, and how the villagers interact with the items they're looking for after they've lost you. Before, it was almost impossible to get away from whoever was chasing you. But now you can hide behind barriers to get away from anyone, if you're clever enough. The item detection is also now more advanced. The NPCs will note the last position they detected Sleepy Man with the item they want, and when they spot you without it, they'll search that location instead. It's important to note that the competency of the AI should always be relative to the objectives the player needs to complete. If the AI is an all-knowing super genius, the game wouldn't be very accessible or fun to experiment with. But if they're too dumb, then there's no challenge. It's all about that balance. I think this iteration works great for the current objectives in the game, but let me know what you think. I'd love to go further with how the NPCs look for items. For example, if they find more than one item in a hiding spot, they should note that location when searching for the next one. And all these guys in Bedtime Town need that little cloud over their head to let the player know what they're looking for. On top of that, it might also be a good idea to have a Skyrim-styled eye UI, so you can read your current detection status. Something like that would work well for a hidden collectible. In practicality, Mr. Sleepy Man is lacking both open eyes and ears, so I bet you can predict where this one is going. I really want to finish Mr. Sleepy Man, but do you know how addicting it is? Giving in to the feeling of wanting to make just one more level? Come on, it's just one more level. It'll only take a couple hours max. What's the worst that can happen? What's wrong with one more level? It'll only make the game better. Okay, 2 or 3 levels tops. If I'm making one, I might as well make a whole dungeon or something. It's a rabbit hole. But that's the thing with game development, or any artistic pursuit, is that the next thing you make always has the potential of being the best thing you've ever made. Because every lesson you've learned, every skill you've refined up until that point, it's all put into the current thing you're working on. So when it comes time to actually finish something, polish it, get rid of all the nasty bugs, make it technically playable, it's so easy to just want to throw in the towel and get back to the fun part, where you don't have to worry about anything other than the creative process. Although I do miss aimlessly creating characters and mechanics without having to worry about a deadline. Sometimes you've just got to buckle down and finish what you've got. A piece of art, whether it's a game, music, handcrafted scented soaps, none of it's worth anything if someone else doesn't get to experience it. So if you stay underground in your little creative bunker for too long, you'll only be doing yourself harm. Sometimes I think, am I putting too much of my personality out there? Could publishing all this content and my opinions online get in the way of someone liking my game? And you know, maybe if I was going around giving my opinions about that one topic everyone is talking about this week, then yeah, it could definitely be harmful to the promotion of my game. But luckily for you guys, I'm self-obsessed and delusional. I only talk about Mr. Sleepy Man on this channel. But even then, putting so much content out, does it water down the Sleepy Man experience? I don't know. I can't spend forever worrying about how everyone perceives anything. That sounds like a huge waste of time. But I am a solo developer, It's just one guy over here making all the Sleepy Man. If someone doesn't like my personality, they sure as hell ain't gonna like Mr. Sleepy Man. In the game, I voice almost every character. I've written all the dialogue, developed the mechanics, composed and produced all the music. Everything in the game is my perspective. So if a 2-minute clip of me talking is gonna turn them off, then bye. See you later, alligator. Yet, I do think it's great we've entered an age where it's possible to have games made from a single person's perspective. Honestly, I prefer when art is made this way, as opposed to an amalgamation of ideas from a boardroom of executives. Just think how shit novels or paintings would be if every brushstroke or sentence typed had to be approved by some overpaid goons in suits. That doesn't sound fun to me. If you like my videos and you can't wait to play Mr. Sleepy Man, wishlist the game on Steam. It's the best way to support little old Mr. Sleepy Man here.